Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Sounds like Tennessee really hit a home run over the weekend on the recruiting trail. A lot of guys on campus taking their official visits. One of those guys couldn't wait to pull the trigger. That is four-star offensive lineman Douglas Utu. He becomes the 14th commit in this class of 2025 for Josh Heupel. Going to be interesting to see where they fall once the rankings are updated. I think Tennessee probably likely to jump into the top 10 after they update all of the rankings. Douglas Utu is a highly rated prospect. He chose Tennessee over Oregon, Michigan State, Ohio State, Washington, Nebraska. About a month ago, a lot of buzz around Ohio State. Steve Wiltfong even called them the team to beat. But Josh Heupel and Glenn Ellerbe, you got to give them some credit, right? As much as we have criticized Glenn Ellerbe for the guys that he missed early in his time at Tennessee, I think he's doing a pretty good job on the recruiting trail lately. We'll see if he can button up a guy like David Sanders and really take this class to the next level. But, you know, we've talked about Nick Moore. We've talked about David Sanders. We've talked about Anthony Aguimoro. We've talked about Josh Petty and Juan Gaston. But quietly, Josh Heupel and Glenn Ellerbe went to work on Douglas Utu and got the deal done. Again, it was kind of a quiet recruitment. He visited Knoxville for the first time back in April. That was his first time visiting the campus. And it's kind of funny. Some of these guys, they don't realize what Knoxville is. He said in his interviews that he thought it was just country. He didn't know it was got that city life. You got the river. You do have some country. It's a lot of these kids don't realize what we've got in Knoxville. But he was in town back in April. Loved his time there. Obviously took his official visit over the weekend. Tennessee got it done. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. But as always, I need you guys to do that YouTube stuff for me. Smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick. It's free. It's easy. It helps the channel, and I would appreciate it. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't break news. That's not what we do. What we do is we react to the news. We react. We speculate. We do what fans do. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like it, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Right now, I'm live every Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're playing NCAA 14 revamped, counting down to the release of EA Sports College Football 25. You can also be in the Dynasty with myself, Coach Jay, Coach Rice Dauber. There's a link in the description for that as well. But let's talk some Cruton. Let's talk about Douglas Utu again. Man, look at his rankings across the board, right? The On3 industry rankings. He is the 53rd overall best player in the country. That is going to move the needle. We talk about trying to get to that top 10. What we really want is a top 5 class in this class of 2025. Douglas Utu is a guy that's going to move the needle. Going to be interesting to see what On3 does with their rankings. How does he shift? Where does he move? Because you can see Rivals.com and ESPN both have him as a 5-star, 8th overall nationally at Rivals, 11th overall nationally at ESPN. So will On3 kind of adjust their rankings? Will they come up? Will ESPN and Rivals go down? Regardless, Douglas Utu is elite, as Coach Jay says all the time. Doesn't really matter what On3 thinks. Doesn't really matter what 247 Sports or ESPN or Rivals. None of that matters. What matters is whether or not these coaches are hitting on their evaluations. What type of player are they getting in Douglas Utu? But again, 6'4", 315 out of Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. A lot of talent up there out of Bishop Gorman. So we've got Douglas Utu in the boat. Going to take a look at a little bit of film. Not a whole lot on him out there, but we will take a look. This is from his sophomore season. You guys can take a look at that, and we'll go through the scouting report. This scouting report is from Greg Biggins, national recruiting analyst over at 247 Sports. Says Utu is one of the more accomplished high school linemen in the class of 25. He'll be a 4-year starter for one of the nation's top high school programs and has played both guard and tackle. Now, I think, you know, he can play both. It'd be interesting to see where his career ends up at Tennessee, but most likely Tennessee recruiting him to play on the interior. And, you know, reading that he'll be a 4-year starter, I think that's a big selling point that Josh Heupel and Glenn Ellerbe have. We kind of talked about it. Coach Rice brought it up on the Wednesday live stream talking recruiting, that we got a lot of guys that are going out, right? Cooper Mays, Spraggins, John Campbell, Dane Davis. A lot of opportunity for some of these young guys in the class of 24 and then also the class of 25. Guys like Douglas Utu, guys like David Sanders that could possibly come in and start right out of the gate. So maybe that was a selling point here for Douglas Utu with his commitment to Tennessee. Let's get the profile back up. We'll continue to go through this scouting report here from Gregory Biggins. Says he looks like a prototype right tackle at the next level, although he could easily slide in and play guard as well if needed. And again, look at Tennessee's roster, right? You've got Lance Hurd. You're working on David Sanders. Is David Sanders trending to Tennessee, regardless what some of these stupid Ohio State fans had to say in the comments of yesterday's video? By the way, go back to that video yesterday, the David Sanders trolling Ohio State, and let them know they are taking over our comment section. They are uneducated. You guys need to go educate them on that video. Quick plug there for that one. Anyway, you got Lance Hurd. Could you finalize the deal with David Sanders? And then you've got Douglas Utu sliding to the inside. By the way, Bennett Warren, a true freshman, had a great spring. He's not a guy that's going to stand by and say, hey, I'm going to let David Sanders come in and take my spot. But this is how we rebuild the offensive line. Competition breeds success. We've seen it in the quarterback room. We've seen it in the wide receiver room. We're seeing it in the linebacker room. Now we're starting to see it on the offensive line. We've already seen what Rodney Garner's done with that defensive line. But the more we stack recruiting classes at every position group, the more this team is going to be back where they're supposed to be. He goes on to say here, does have tackle feet in a prototype frame, pushing 6'6", 300 pounds with plenty of length. Says he's technically sound with good feet and balance, moves well laterally, and is equally strong as a run blocker and pass protector. You know, that's something else that I saw in his interview coming off of his visits. He loves the way Tennessee runs the football. Everybody wants to think it's an air raid, pass-happy offense. That's not the case. Douglas Utu understands that's not the case, and he wants to go out and be physical in the run-blocking game, so I like that. Goes on to say he's a physical player, strong at the point of attack, and is a finisher. He's a natural bender with a strong punch, has the quickness to recover against speed rushers and strength to hold his ground against the bull rushers. He's plenty aggressive as well and has the nastiness needed to excel in the trenches. Got the talent to play for any program in the country and has a definite NFL upside to him as well. Now, coming off the official visit, this is what Douglas Utu had to say. He said it was really just spending time with Coach Ellerby. He was with me the entire trip. It was just good to get to know him more. Says, I like the way he teaches. He sent one of the top tackles to the league, and Darnell Wright, I'm pretty sure he has the tools to send me as well. And, you know, talking about the Ohio State trolls that were in the video about David Sanders, you know, they come in and they say, what has Tennessee done in the last 20 years? The last 20 years don't matter. The only thing that matters is what Tennessee has done in the last 3 years since Josh Heupel arrived. And, oh, yeah, he arrived while under the NCAA investigation. He arrived when half the roster transferred out. He arrived when we were at rock bottom. And what has he done since then? He's done nothing but overachieve. We're disappointed in a 9-win season last year because Josh Heupel has shown us what he can do with less. And now he's starting to get that momentum on the recruiting trail. And you look at what Glenn Ellerby did in putting Darnell Wright to the league. That's a selling point. But you get Lance Hurd. You get him via the transfer portal. That is an elite level talent. Can you go get a David Sanders? Can you develop Douglas Utu? We need to start seeing on the offensive line from Glenn Ellerby what we're seeing on the defensive line with Rodney Garner. When you can point to B.Y., when you can point to James Pearson, when you can point to these guys that you were developing and getting to the league. Again, what happened 20 years ago means absolutely nothing. All that matters is what Josh Heupel has done since he's arrived on campus in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I think we're going to be pretty happy with where he takes us in 2024. But what do you guys think about Douglas Utu? What do you think about the offensive line recruiting? Jump into the comment section and talk about it. Can we close on David Sanders? And you're looking at David Sanders, Douglas Utu, Nick Moore, and also Anthony Agamoro already committed in this class of 25. Where do they go from here? Do they have any shot at Josh Petty? Do they have any shot at Juan Gaston? Or is Douglas Utu the guy that kind of finalizes this offensive line for the class of 25? Let's talk about it in the comment section. As always, do me a favor and smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. You can also go check out the official Talkin VAWLS merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link's in the description below. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. You guys are the ones that keep the light bill paid around here. I'm grateful for your support, especially during the off season. You want to help out the channel. You like the videos, the content, the live streams, whatever it is you like about this channel. You want to support us, hit that join button right beside subscribe. You can do that for just $1 a month. Again, all the links for everything are in the description. The Patreon for the EA Sports Talkin VAWLS Dynasty is in the description. We appreciate all the love and support. That's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.